Hi everyone, my name is Hannah, this is Stellar Kind Oracle, and this is the second video in my Astrology 101 series, where I teach you all about astrology and how you can use it in your day-to-day. If you haven't seen the first video, I do recommend that you check it out, especially if you are new to the subject, and I have linked it down below in the description. Today's video is going to be serving as a crash course on astrology, and I'm going to be breaking down all of the main components and defining some key terminology. If you only watch one video of the series, I highly recommend that it be this one. First off, some important clarity about the nature of astrology. Instead of the popular view of an unchanging, static list of traits that describes each sign, each of the symbols we're going to be diving into is in fact constantly changing. Each one does have a specific personality, but the way that expresses itself is always different with the context and environment. Each symbol has expressions that end up being fulfilling and healthy, and also expressions that are more harmful and toxic. Astrology is also not singular. There are always multiple influences contributing to every reading, and you won't get a full picture unless you look at everything as a whole. That being said, for now we are breaking it down into manageable chunks and sticking to the basics. There are four main components that go into every astrology reading: planets, signs, houses, and aspects. First up is planets. Planets represent universal life experiences and psychological processes. Mars, for example, represents our will, drive, and inspired actions. There are 10 planets in total, including the sun and the moon, and each move at a different pace through the signs. We include the sun and moon even though they are not technically planets, because astrology is centered on our perspective from Earth and maps what we can see from the Earth. That's also the reason for retrogrades, which is when a planet appears to be traveling backwards in its orbit. This is an illusion that happens because of our perspective from the Earth. Signs are probably the most familiar element to you. They're the most popular aspect of astrology for sure, and you're probably aware of what sign you are based on your birthday. Truthfully, this is just one of the signs that influences you, your sun sign. Each of the other 9 planets also sit within a sign and also represent an area of your personality. Signs are representative of a certain archetype and repeating pattern of energy. There are 12 signs in total that exist in a cycle that starts with Aries and ends with Pisces. When mapped out, this cycle appears in a circular chart called the zodiac. Physically speaking, each sign represents a section of the sky that the planets move through. Signs give insights into how the energy of the planets will be expressed and what the motivation behind that expression is. All signs have strong suits and weaknesses, and all are dynamic, constantly changing energies. Next are the houses. Each house represents a tangible area of life in which the planets and the energies of the signs play out. There are 12 houses, and each one correlates with one of the signs. Houses can represent more visible areas of life like career and community, or they can represent something a little more personal and private like finances or health. Houses are based on the angle of the horizon and shift in placement throughout the day. Your rising sign is determined by the placement of your first house, which represents your personality development. Lastly, the aspects. These are angles that form between planets and create connections in their expression. Depending on the angle, that relationship might be harmonious or it could create tension between the two planets. Either way, aspects are there to explain how the individual parts of a chart work together as a whole. These 4 elements combined together create a basis of all astrology readings. Readings can be for only one chart, or multiple charts layered together representing multiple times and places. When there are multiple charts, aspects are created between them that reveal the dynamics between the two. Depending on the type of reading you're generating, you can make insights about specific individuals, communities, time periods, places, and the relationships between them. The most common kinds of readings are natal charts, transit reports, and synastry reports. Natal charts, or birth charts, are a snapshot of the sky at the exact time and place of somebody's birth. They show the energies that the person is most attuned to throughout their life, and serve as a roadmap to the psyche. Natal charts also show us areas that will hold special meaning for us throughout our lifetime, as well as how to best navigate them and take advantage of our natural strengths and inclinations. A synastry report layers two natal charts on top of each other as a way to assess the dynamic of a specific relationship. Transit reports show the location and movement of the planets as they currently are and make predictions and insights about how these transits affect us collectively. Transit reports can also be layered on top of a natal chart to show how these current collective energies affect us on a personal, individual level. Transit reports can also show the transiting planets at a point in time in the past or in the future. Natal charts are going to be our focus through most of this series because they are the easiest way to learn. Nobody knows you better than you know yourself ultimately, so examining your own natal chart is the best way to get you familiarized with the energies of astrology. When studying a natal chart, a planet within a sign within a house is called a placement. For example, you could have a sun placement in Libra in the 7th house. In a placement, the planet represents what is being expressed. The signs represent how and why, and the houses represent where this expression is most likely to show up in your life. Each of these placements are important, but the natal chart is read as a whole, and later we're going to be going over ways to look for patterns, themes, and pick out placements with the most influence in a chart. We are going to be going over each of these elements in a lot more detail in the upcoming videos, but it is always helpful to start with a broad overview for some context before we move forward. This is also going to be a great reference video to look back on if you need a refresher on some of the overarching structure of astrology. Next time we are going to be diving into the planets. Please like, comment, subscribe, or share this video if you enjoyed this, and I will be posting new videos every Monday in this series. Please check out my Instagram as well for more astrology content. I will be providing some infographics that go along with our videos throughout the week. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye!